So I have a 35mm camera that's in its original box, which I guess kind of makes it a collector's item right away. It's called the Pro Line camera. I'll read some of what's on the box. It says, focus-free 35mm camera, auto wind and rewind, dual viewfinder, deluxe electronic flash with extension arm bracket, fast recycling of flash, case with shoulder strap included, with self-timer. So this is what the camera looks like. I'll pull out the styrofoam inside that it's packed in. And here's a closer look at the camera. Again, it looks like any other 35mm camera when you first look at it. These were cameras that were typically manufactured during the 1980s, 1990s, and they were meant as entry-level cameras and referred to as toy cameras, not by the manufacturers of the camera, but by photographers that said, you know, no serious photographer would have one of these cameras. It's made entirely out of plastic. It's not as durable as regular cameras that have metal and rigid parts to it. So you can see it looks the same though. It's got a flash bracket here. The flash tilts up and down. It's got a lens hood that fits on here. And it's got a nice sort of grip to it. So, you know, toy cameras sort of got a bad name just because they weren't as good as other cameras. But there were actually professional photographers that took some of these cameras to prove the point that the camera had nothing to do with the image. Technically, you could get a great image with a really expensive camera, and you could do a lot of great things with a less expensive camera. So it was good from that standpoint. Look up on the internet serious photographers that have used toy cameras in art exhibitions or whatever. You know, when you do the search for toy cameras, you'll naturally get a lot of pictures of kids using real toy cameras, but these were meant as toy cameras, referred to as toy cameras that adults would have used because it had more features to it than regular toy cameras. And the dual viewfinder, I thought this was interesting. Didn't know what the dual viewfinder was, but you can see that they had a ground glass on the top, so you could hold this camera at waist level and look through the ground glass, or you'd hold the camera up to your eye and look through the viewfinder. I can't think of any other 35mm camera that has this kind of dual viewfinder built into it. So right away, that makes it kind of an interesting collector's item in itself. But here's what toy cameras were and how it fits into the